Okay, so this is Guru right here. This is what the teacher page looks like. And so the cool thing about Guru is you can import questions based off specific TEKs, and you can track that data, and you can monitor how students are responding to certain TEKs, or maybe how they're understanding specific content from the classroom. And so I'm just going to go through this kind of quickly, but Miss Nick has already created a class, American history, and she's imported different units from the past years. And so looking at this, we've actually do this as a bell ringer, so these students will come and answer a few questions every week, and we can analyze what the students do and do not understand specifically. So one thing I wanted to talk about is a quiz we had them take in the last unit when we were back in colonial America. And we actually used this quiz, it was a 10-question quiz, to assess whether which students understood the TEKs and the content from the last unit. And we actually used this data. So these are the questions that she imported in. This is kind of what it might look like. I'll see if I pull this up. Okay, which of the following is not a motive for Spanish exploration in the New World? All right. So this is kind of the objectives of this quiz. And we use this quiz to identify which students were in Tier 2 and needed more intervention. And we actually pulled out students, Tier 2 students, that didn't meet a specific requirement from this quiz and had them do an extra review before the last exam. So that's one of the cool things we use this data for, was actually to identify and provide extra service for Tier 2 students. And so I'm just going to show you real quick in this program. I wish I had more time, but I don't want to make this video too long, but I want to show you how we can look at data from this. All right, so we're going to go to Colonial America and look at this quiz specifically, and I'm going to actually pull this off my screen for just a second so the students' names don't accidentally pop up. And so then I'm going to pull over Launch Anonymous. So this is what these scores from the quiz ended up looking like. All right, so the 10-question quiz, and then this is the anonymous mode, so can't see the students' names. There's one student that hasn't taken the quiz, and then this is what the green is the correct, the red is the incorrect, and you can see each student's individual score, the class average, and then there's even more, again, more detailed analysis of the data based on the specific questions and the TEKs, and you can look at that. So this is just one program we can use in the classroom on a daily basis that the teachers use to identify and look at what students may or may not be understanding. And we actually use this data to pull out some students for intervention. And there's other ways we use this data as well. We use data from another test, not to actually have to spend another day reteaching a specific topic. But this is just kind of a simple run through of Guru. This is why I feel like it's justified as my artifact, though, is because I didn't know programs like this existed. This is a great tool to use, and I've learned how to use it to see, to understand how we can compare the students' data. You can track their data over time and looking at from the beginning to the current units. You can look at how they score on each specific part. And so this is just a great tool, great artifact that I think demonstrates my understanding of working with other teachers, looking at the data and making corrections whenever needed. And so that's Guru in a nutshell. I wish I had more time. And now I'm going to switch back over to my other screen.